Hello, dear viewers of my channel. I'm pleased to introduce my Buteyko breathing method student, Andrew. Andrew has been practicing the Buteyko breathing method for a long time and quite seriously. He will share his practice results with us. Andrew is 45 years old, he looks great, and he has a lot of energy. So now I pass it over to him.
Thank you, Oksana. I'm very glad to be here, and it's great to be able to share my experiences as someone who has been practicing the Buteyko breathing method for about 2 years. And I must confess that I've recently reduced the intensity of my practice because I have improved many of my health problems using the Buteyko breathing method. But for the last 1 year and a half, I practiced very regularly on a daily basis for about 30 to 40 minutes each time. So 30 minutes in the morning after awakening and 30 minutes in the evening before going to bed. And this had really great impact on my health. How it all began. So the story began when I discovered a very popular video on Oksana's YouTube channel, which is called Practicing the Buteyko Breathing Together. It's a great video which introduced me to the Buteyko method even before I knew anything about the scientific basis of this method or its many various aspects. I began practicing the Buteyko breathing with this video, and I really loved this video. And for 1 year and a half, almost every morning and every night before going to bed, I had a Buteyko session of about half an hour. Later, I took a live course with Oksana, which lasted about 1 week, 6 or 7 sessions, if I remember correctly. And that course really deepened my understanding of the Buteyko breathing technique. So that's it.
Andrew, you mentioned that you had some chronic illnesses that you had suffered from for many years, with quite significant symptoms. Could you please share what specific illnesses you had and what results you have achieved?
Yes, of course. I had several chronic diseases, and to begin with, in 2018, I was diagnosed with sacroiliitis. It's a rheumatic disease which is caused by inflammation in the joints. Actually, it's a very nasty disease. One suffers from constant pains in the joints, and the only treatment, the standard treatment that the mainstream medicine offers are drugs, painkiller drugs like ibuprofen or celecoxib, all those drugs which are not without bad effects on your health. So this was one of my chronic diseases, and as I began to practice the Buteyko breathing, my symptoms went back. They almost disappeared. Well, one can say it was a coincidence, but I see it as an effect of the Buteyko breathing which I practiced, because before I began practicing the Buteyko method, I had to take between 5 and 10 drugs per day, painkiller drugs. And after I began practicing, very soon, I didn't have to take any single drug a day. And I almost had I also had a kind of list, a table where I put all those pills, all those drugs, just to keep record of what medicine I took. And this table was filled with all those numbers. And after, I remember the date, it was October the 11th, 2022, I guess. after I began practicing intensively, I stopped putting numbers on that table, and it's absolutely empty. So I was astonished. It was an amazing result, of course. And someone may say, well, could say it is a coincidence. It cannot be. But my example shows that this is more than a coincidence because the result is so amazing. And I couldn't achieve this result with any other treatment, with any other standard treatment. So this was one chronic disease. Another one was I suffered from regular headaches, which began after I had a very severe case of the flu as a child. And those headaches, I've had them since I was like 9 years old. And I had to also regularly take painkiller drugs because nothing helped. And as I began practicing the Buteyko method, those headaches stopped. They really stopped very abruptly. So it was not like they were diminishing, but they disappeared completely. And before I began practicing, I took those painkillers maybe 2 or 3 times a month because I really had very severe headaches 2 or 3 times every month. And after that, after I began practicing, I didn't have to take any single pill. Well, sometimes I feel some like a reminder, like a shadow of those headaches. Earlier, I would have had to take a painkiller, but now I know, well, it's on the level which is not so bad. I can live with it. So it was another amazing result. So the headaches. And the third and also very interesting thing, as I was diagnosed with that rheumatic disease, which I told you about earlier, I also had tinnitus. Pretty at the very same time, this hissing sound in the ears. And with the Buteyko method, this tinnitus diminished maybe by half, by 50 or 70%. The improvement was also very, very good. So these three things.
You have also mentioned that you had depression and some signs of psychosomatic issues. Is it okay for you to share it?
Yes, of course. It was another. I was having a hard time, 2022, and I was diagnosed with depression. And that depression was accompanied by several psychosomatic symptoms. And for those who do not know, psychosomatic diseases or disorders or symptoms are physical symptoms which are caused by the mental, by one's psyche, like by stress or anxiety, things like that. So you experience something bad, you have bad ideas, negative ideas, and those things cause you pain or maybe beating of your heart or some stomach problems and so on and so forth. So every individual develops his own symptoms, specific symptoms. In my case, it was such a thing as very clearly perceptible beating of the heart, which I had in the night time, and trembling, inner tremor or trembling, shaking of the body. So when I went to bed, I had those negative thoughts, those vicious circle of negative thoughts, but I also had those bodily symptoms, which prevented me from sleeping all the night sometimes. So the Buteyko method helped me a lot, helped me to improve the psychosomatic symptoms, really. So here I would like to mention one very cool, very effective exercise, which is called the clock. And there is a very good video on Oksana's YouTube channel as well. We call this exercise like ambulance exercise. It helps very well in acute situations. For example, I had pain attacks. Suddenly, a pain came in my chest, and that pain could not be relieved with any drugs. Nothing helped. And then I did this exercise, which is actually holding one's breath for a certain period of time, like 20 or 30 seconds, in intervals. And that exercise, only this exercise helped me to get rid of these pain attacks. And that was really cool. I can recommend this exercise to everybody. It's a very cool thing, awesome thing. So that's actually it.
I'm very grateful that you shared your experience. And I'd like to ask you what you would recommend to those practicing the Buteyko breathing method or those just getting acquainted with it. What would your recommendations be as someone who has personally walked this path?
So my key takeaways from my Buteyko practice are that the Buteyko method is a really cool thing because it is effective. It is a scientific method. It's not something, which you try. One day you think it works, the other day it doesn't. It is something which really works. And you have a cause and you have an effect. You practice the method and you see the immediate effects on your health. But one of the most important things when practicing the Buteyko method is not only to do the exercises or to practice once or twice or for 1 week, and then as soon as you see some slight improvement of your health, you quit, you give up, and you say, okay, that's enough. No, you have to keep practicing because the ultimate goal is to adjust your breathing over the long term, to make your breathing shallower, not so deep, over the long term, so that your breathing is readjusted, to learn to breathe in a new way. And to achieve this goal, of course, one should need to practice regularly, at least twice a day. The most important thing is that one needs willpower to keep practicing, not to give up. And if you keep practicing for several months, for half a year, for 1 year, you can improve your health dramatically. That means you will not believe what you see, what you feel. You will never, could never think that something like a breathing exercise or breathing practice can achieve such great results. So I wish everybody good health and enjoy the Buteyko breathing.
I'm very grateful to you for sharing your story. So, you can see how great the results can be if you not only start practicing the Buteyko method, but also stick with it for a long time and keep moving towards improving your health.
This is very true.
So, I wish you all the best. That's it for today. Subscribe to my channel and join my courses. Goodbye.
Goodbye.